I said, I am the nicest guy that you're going to meet in this experience. He was shot 3 times and severely wounded. So I sat with Abu Zubaydah for 56 hours after we shot him. The Pakistani doctors there saved his life, pumping blood into him as quickly as they could. It was just oozing out of him, pooling underneath the bed. He was soaked in blood. We were soaked in blood. It was like a scene out of a horror movie. But he lived. And then finally he asked me, what's going to happen to me? And I said, honestly, I don't know. But I'm going to give you some advice. I said, I am the nicest guy that you're going to meet in this experience. My colleagues, they're not nice like I am. So if you do one thing, it's that you have to cooperate. And he said, you seem like a nice man, but you're the enemy, and I'll never cooperate. Finally, a CIA jet flew in, and 3 FBI agents and I picked up his gurney and carried him out to the plane. He was crying. He asked if I would hold his hand, which I did. We had to maneuver him. We had to stand him up on the gurney. He was strapped down. We had to maneuver him onto the plane. We laid him on the luggage rack at the back of the plane and tied him down. And he squeezed my hand, and I said, remember, you have to cooperate. And then he flew off. I was in the cafeteria one day, just standing in the sandwich line, and a senior officer walked up to me and said, very casually, hey, I'm so glad I ran into you. Do you want to be certified in the use of enhanced interrogation techniques? I had never heard that term before. I said, what's that mean? And he says, we're going to start getting rough with these guys. And I said, well, what does that mean? And he described these 10 techniques. And I said, that sounds like a torture program. And he said, it's not torture. The Justice Department approved it and the president signed it. We're going to start soon. You want to be in? And I said, let me think about it. I consulted a very senior officer, went back downstairs, and I said, this is a torture program. I have an ethical and moral problem with it. I think it's illegal, and I'm not interested. Well, of the 14 people that they approached, I was the only one who said no.